Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock. It is a Thursday and it's time for another video. And today I'm going to be talking about Focus by myself and Phil Smith and Murphy's Magic. So what is Focus? Well, Focus is what I think is my best trick release of 2024. It's my latest collaboration with Phil Smith and it's a specially printed deck of cards. A little bit like Evoke, a little bit like Heroes and Villains, a little bit like Cube 52, Infinity Deck, list goes on and on. But this, I think, is the ultimate evolution of those decks. First of all, it's about a subject I love, which is movies. I'm telling you right now, everybody loves movies. Everybody loves films. And what I'm going to do on this video is I'm going to basically expose exactly how Focus works. I'm going to talk to you about what Focus is, how the marking system works, the gaff cards that you get inside, absolutely everything. The reason I'm doing this is because I really believe in all of my products. I especially believe in this one. And I honestly think if I show people how this works and what it's capable of, then you're more likely to understand it and therefore want to pick it up. I'm trying to change the industry here because that's not what's done in the Magic community generally, but I think that more people should be doing this. I think we should be more upfront and honest with our marketing tactics. And so I'm basically going to show you exactly what you get. So this is Focus right here. When I open Focus, by the way, big shout out to the Murphy's packaging.
It's so good.
Isn't that great? I love the packaging that Murphy's are using at the moment. It's great. When you open it up, you get this. You get the Focus deck. That is what you receive, the Focus deck of cards. This is what everybody wants to know. Now, this is designed to be a card game. It's designed to be a card game. When I originally kind of envisaged this, I wanted it to be almost like Snap with films. So I wanted to have the same films twice in the deck, and therefore you could play sort of Snap with it. And you could actually, if you wanted to, use these to play a game with, and it would work. But obviously, that's a waste of money because this is designed to do so much more. But the most important thing, doesn't that look legit?
It does. It does.
Like
a card game.
It really does, doesn't it? You look at this. This is the sort of thing that you'd pick up from a Waterstones or something like that, and a nice little stocking filler. It just looks like what it's meant to look like. Once again, Phil Smith hitting it out the park. That QR code is actually a reveal. It goes through to X-Men, which is one of the cards. It goes to an IMDb search for X-Men, of course. And Phil never even told me. He just threw that in there because that's what Phil does. He never tells me this stuff. He puts stuff in there to just confuse me. Then you've got the cards themselves, and these are the cards. Beautiful card stock, absolutely amazing, as you would expect with Phil Smith. The cards look brilliant, and they hold several diabolical secrets. And the first thing that I want to do is expose what those secrets are. So when you get when you get Focus, you're going to get 4 cards, 4 special cards. Now the first one is a duplicate Ghostbusters card. We'll get back to that a little bit later on. You also get this. It's a card with Slimer from Ghostbusters on one side. It's a double backer with Slimer from Ghostbusters. We'll get back to that later on as well. You get a normal double backer because everybody wants a double backer. That's included as well. And then you get this, which completely explains how the marking system works. We'll get back to that a little bit later on as well. Now, one of the cool things about Focus is the different ways that you can have this deck set up. So you can have it set up just with the 52 cards shuffled together, and you can perform absolute miracles with them. Absolutely not a problem at all. Or you can have the 52 cards set up into a particular stack, but they are designed to be 2 separate stacks. So you have 2 completely different stacks, but they're the same films in both stacks. Let me explain. So this is stack number 1. These are movie posters. Now, you could just perform with these 26 cards if you wanted to. So if you wanted to, you could just have these 26 cards and you could just use them to do whatever it is that you want to do. You can have them set up in stack, or you can have them in a shuffled order. It's absolutely up to you. But if you want to just use the movie posters, that's absolutely fine. These are the same movies, but they're quotes from films. So each one of these cards has the name of the film. It has the quote, and it has the name of the character who says the quote and the year that that film was released. Now, you could, if you wanted to, just use these 26 cards. So you could just carry these in your pocket and pull them out, or you could just carry these in your pocket and pull them out. You could have the 2 stacks in order, or you could have the 2 stacks shuffled. There's so many different ways of doing this. Now, I do want to show you the artwork on these. Phil designed all of these posters. These aren't the original posters. Phil designed these himself. They're all fan art.
They all look so good.
I mean, the guy's a fucking genius. And there's a few reasons we went through going through fan art. One is copyright, obviously, but the other is to do with some of the routines. Now, the other thing I want you to see with these cards is that I wanted to make a really random, eclectic range of films in there. I wanted films that people would know, but I wanted them to be some modern films, some films that are older, films from every different genre. And I think we accomplished that. Some people have asked me online what the films are, so let me quickly go through them. You've got The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, you've got Braveheart, you've got Casablanca, Dr. Strangelove, Edward Scissorhands, Forrest Gump, Ghostbusters, Heathers, Independence Day, Jerry Maguire, The Karate Kid Part 2, Lion King, Mad Max, Naked Gun 33 and a Third, Onward, Pride and Prejudice, The Quick and the Dead, Rocky IV, Spider-Man, Taken, Untouchables, V for Vendetta, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, X-Men, Young Frankenstein and Zoolander. Great range of films. Now you've got those same films here as well. As you can see, you've got Adventures of Sherlock Holmes all the way through to Zoolander. Now, these films are also set up, if you want them to be stacked, you can have them stacked, and they're stacked in alphabetical order. So A for Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, B for Braveheart, C for Casablanca, D for Dr. Strangelove, E for Edward Scissorhands, F for Forrest Gump, all the way through to Z from Zoolander. So if you didn't want to use any of these, you could have this deck of cards. You could have them cut the cards anywhere they wanted to. You could have them cut as many times as they want. And you would look at the bottom card. I would see Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. I managed to cut to A, which is amazing, which means Zoolander's going to be at the top. Boom. If you wanted to, you could do that. Or I could cut here, and I could see Untouchables here, which means that I know that on top you're going to have Taken. Yeah, you go, Taken. Now, the thing is, that would involve memory work. That would involve memorizing the films. I didn't want you to do that. So just like with Evoke, we have marked the cards. But dear Lord, have we marked the cards. I challenged Phil to mark the cards with more stuff than he's ever marked in his entire life. And he delivered and then some. So look at this. This is the marking system. Basically, what I'm saying here, Phil is insane. So first of all, you've got this movie. And you'll see in a minute. So that's this movie. So that's the movie that's on the card. Then this movie's Moab word. By the way, it's got the mother of all book tests built into the quote cards. We'll get back to that in a minute. Then, who said the quote? So it's got who said the quote. Then the first line of the quote. And the year the film came out. Then you've got the stack number, which is very useful for some of the routines. Then you've got the next movie in alpha stack. You've got the next movie's Moab word. You've got the next movie's who said the quote. And then you've got the box office and the movie director. All marked on one card. That is insane. And this is the marking system on the other side. The marking system is so incredibly easy to read, it's untrue. It's based on shapes. So Phil created shapes for each individual letter, and he created shapes for each individual number. And it's just so good. So these are the film posters. Let's take the quotes from it, and I'll show you. So these are the quotes. So have a look at this, and I'll turn it this way. You can see. So let me just cut a couple of times like this. We'll cut at random. So can you see, Michael? Because you've never looked at these before, have you?
No.
So now you know the marking system. Can you see there,
Karate Kid? Yeah.
How easy is that?
Yeah.
So if you have this here, you'll see, and we just put this one here. So you see there, Karate Kid. Boom. Now the next one, the movie's Moab word.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, exactly. Then who said the quote?
Mr. Miyagi.
Mr. Miyagi. And then the first line of the quote.
Sometimes what? Heart?
Yes, sometimes what heart forgets. That's
Yeah.
the first line. Sometimes what heart forget. And then if you look under there, under here, you can see the next movie.
Lion King.
Boom. The next movie is Moab word.
Remember
There you go. You've never looked
Yeah.
at these before, genuinely, have you?
from Mufasa.
Yeah, Mufasa. And then you've got the box office down there. See, 130 million?
Yeah.
And then the director is right down there. So you've got everything that you need built into this. Now, we'll get to the director and the box office in a minute. But because it's in Alpha Stack, it means that I can do stuff like this. So, for example, I can show that all of these are different quotes, and I can mix them up. I can give them a little Charlier shuffle, you know, give them a bit of a mix-up. Charlier shuffle. I go through slides in the actual project, but whatever. All I have to do is put them down in front of me like this. I can have them cut as many times as I want to, and I could be looking away. I could then have them take this card, and I look here, and I just look here, and I see Edward Scissorhands. That is going to be Edward Scissorhands. And I can also see complete. So I can see that the Moab word is going to be complete. Or if I want to, I can cut here. If these are shuffled, I can cut, and I can look at the top, and they can see V for Vendetta, bulletproof. So I know that this is going to be bulletproof and it's V for Vendetta. So if they're shuffled, it's not a problem. The advantage of them being in Alpha Stack is I can literally look away. I can have them cut. They can take the card. They can look at it. They can put it away. I can turn back round and I can put the cards to one side. And as I do, and I put them over here, I just see Karate Kid here. I know that this is going to be Karate Kid too, right? So I know that immediately. So with using them in Alpha Stack, I'm not even having to peek anything. I'm not even having to do anything. I'm not even having to, you know, I'm not having to look at the top of the stack. They can do it completely, and then I can turn away and just put these to one side, which is absolutely phenomenal. Now, when you talk about the Moab system, I built that into Evoke, and I built it into Mind Blocks as well. And I built it into Heroes and Villains. But what we've done here is we've made it real quotes from real films. I can't tell you, and you didn't know this, did you, Michael? I can't tell you how long it took me to do this. I had to find 26 films that go from A through to Z that everybody would know about. Then, when I found those 26 films, the next thing I had to do is I had to find films that there would be a quote in that everybody would recognize, that has the mother of all book tests organically built into it. Now, if you don't know what the mother of all book tests is, it's the long word principle. So you have a look at the quote, and you look at the long word. You say to them, have a look at that quote, pick a long word. If there's no long word, just pick any old word. It doesn't really matter. There's always going to be a long word, and it's only going to be one. In this case, it's elementary. So I always use this as an example. Have you seen? Do you like Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
When someone asks if you're a god, you say yes. Winston Sedmore to obviously Ray Stantz, who everyone remembers that moment in the film. If I asked you to think of a long word, you're going to think of someone.
Yeah.
You have no choice. So all of these are real Lion Kings. Remember who you are, Mustafa. Remember. Some are longer, some are shorter. My favourite quote is this one, because it's one of my favourite films. If you let my daughter go now, that will be the end of it. I will not look for you. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you. Iconic quote from Taken. Liam Neeson, obviously. But the only long word they can think of is daughter. So now I can have them cut the cards. Have them cut as many times as they want to. I can look away. They can take the card. They can put it away. It's gone. I turn back. And I know that straight away, it's Edward Scissorhands, the film. The character who said the quote was Edward Scissorhands. And the word that they're going to think of is complete. And I saw that all in 1 second. And it's films, which means that everybody can relate to them. You can even have them go through. So let's say you were using the movie posters, which work in exactly the same way. I could go through the movie posters, and I could have them take a film that they like the look of. I can say, cut a film that you like to the front, and then put it in your pocket. I put it in my pocket. They put the rest of the cards down here. I look on the table here, Independence Day. So I know that the card that I've put in their pocket is Independence Day. It's that quick. So from a mind reader's point of view, there's absolutely so much you can do in it. Now, the other thing is, and this is kind of never been done before, there is information on these cards that aren't actually on the card. So, for example, if I was using just the film posters and I wasn't using these, you don't have on the film posters the quote. You don't have the on the film posters a lot of this information, like the release date. So, for example, the release date is on here. I can see this is 1996. The release date is on here, but it's not on the posters. It is on the quotes, but it's not on the posters. So I could use the movie posters and I could say, look, cut the cards any way you want to. When you've cut, fantastic. Are you happy right there? Yes, you are. And I could say, right, take that card, have a look at it, remember that film. And I could say, right, you've got that film in your mind. And they go, yeah. And you go, right, can you think of the year it was made? And they're going to go, well, I don't know. And you go, oh, can you Google it? But I already know that. It's 1939. Because it tells me right there. So there's information included on these cards that aren't included on the front of the cards, which completely cancels out the method, because they're not going to think that you've looked at the faces of these cards if the information that you're telling them isn't even on there. Now, it gets even better because there's information, if you go back to this, like the director's name in the box office, that isn't anywhere on any of the cards. So I can, for example, I can have them take this deck and I could say, look, do me a favor, go through and take out a film that you like. You know, all the films there, go through and take out a film that you like. And they go through and they find out, I don't know, this one. They take out this one. And you go, brilliant, put it down to one side. Now, I know just by looking at these, I know what the box office is. I know all the other information, but I know what the box office is. So now, I can say to them, look, I'm going to make a prediction, and I can write something down. I can write the box office, and I go, can you tell me what the box office is? And they go, no. And you go, well, thought it was a film that you liked. And they go, yeah, but I don't like it enough to know what the box office is. Well, Google it then. And when they Google the film, they're going to get the same information that you already got ages ago that you've wrote down on a piece of paper. Like the level of insane stupidity that you can get with this marking system is just nuts. And as I say, one of the key things is with the mother of all book tests, you don't even need to look, because normally with the long word principle, you need to figure out what the first letter of the long word is. But with this, you don't need to, because when you do this and they cut and you take this, I don't need to know what the long word is. It's telling me right there. It's like having an open crib in front of you the entire time. I know that they're going to think of remember. Before they even think of remember, I know they're going to think of remember. Before they even look at the card that they've taken, I know what the long word is that they're going to be thinking of. So, like, it's up to you as the end user how you have this set up. And there's a lot of different ways. And I'm going to show you some routines from the project. I'm going to go through some of the routines and show you some performances of some of the things that you can actually do with this. And I think as we've been talking about the marking system, I'm going to show you a routine that I performed to Lloyd in the tutorial, which is a very basic example of how you can actually do a mind reading routine. And we're not using anything complicated here. We're just using a stack, and it'll show you just how amazing this marking system is and how well you can use it in the real world. Let's have a look at this. I kind of think of this as like a simple mind reading routine. If you're going to be doing mind reading with the focus deck, this is a great place to start.
Barnes, how you doing, Lloyd?
Good, okay, man. How's it going?
Cool. You're about to see a lot of magic. A lot of magic.
The body's ready.
Exactly, yeah, right. So I have here some cards. It's from a card game I got from a shop ages ago. It's not really important what the game is. We're not going to use it for a game. What's kind of interesting is all of these cards are quotes from iconic movies. We've got loads of movies, different genres, different eras. Some are really old, some are brand new. But there's a quote. Each one of these cards has the name of the movie, the quote, who said the quote, and the year it was released. And they're all different, as you can see. We're going to try and do something here. I'm going to try and do something 3 times. I'm going to try and read your mind. Each time, hopefully, it will become more impressive. But it's really important that you realise that as we're doing this, you have a completely and totally free choice. Right?
Okay.
So what's going to happen in a second, I'm going to look away. When I look away, I want you to cut the cards, complete the cut. When you've cut the cards and completed the cut, you're going to take the top card and you're going to have a look at it and you're going to remember the name of the film. When you've done that, just put your hand on top of the card. Okay?
Okay.
So just go ahead and cut the cards any way you want to, complete the cut. I will look away. And when you've done that, take the top card. And you can change that film if you want to, or are you happy with it?
No, I think it's cool.
Okay, so remember the film and then put it down there. Okay. So, there's no way I can know where that film is because they're all different. You can, anyway, I was turned around the entire time. I couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
So the only way I could try and figure out what that film is by reading your mind, and that's what I'm going to do. I went to think of the name of the film in front of you. So I went to think of the name of the film right there, and I went to imagine it's written in neon.
Right.
Okay? And in your imagination, that neon is a particular colour. What colour is it?
Yellow.
That's interesting. So that tells me it's kind of, it's not an action film. It's kind of more of a story-driven film. There's not action. There's not comedy in it as such. It's kind of more. That's not magic. That's psychology. If people go red, they go blue. That tends to be action. Black tends to be horror. If you go yellow, that tends to be sort of more of a story-driven narrative. So think about the actual title of it and imagine it's there in front of you. A lot of the films in these here have one word. Some of them have more than one word. Some of them have several words. Okay, you've got quite a few words in this, haven't you? There's more than one word. Think about how many individual words there are. Okay, that's interesting. There's 3 words, right? Yeah. There's 3 words in this. Yeah, that's what I thought. Let's go with that first one because that first one might help me what the rest of them are. Just focus on that first word, the title of the film, but the first word in the title of the film. And think about the first letter of that word shining brighter than all the other letters.
Yeah.
That's interesting. It popped in there. It's a P.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah. Which is interesting because the third word has a P in it as well. The P is at the beginning of the third word. Okay, let's go back to that first word. Think of the letter in the middle of that word. Oh, you went back and forth, didn't you, between like an I and a D? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Exactly,
yeah, think about the whole word. It's pride. Oh, you went for Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah.
Amazing. Now, obviously, maybe, you can lift up your hand now, because maybe, just maybe, you think that was a fluke, and it wasn't. And I'll prove it to you, I'll do it again. Okay, you're not meant to repeat something like this, but I'll do it again for you. So exactly the same thing. This time you're going to look at another film. Just remember the film. You're going to complete the cut, and take it, and I'll look away for the whole time. And take it. And if you want to change it, you can, but if you're happy with it, that's great. Are you happy with it?
Yes.
You're happy with it, fantastic. So, put your hand on it so I can't see it. Okay, now think of the film. This time I'm not going to ask you any questions, I'm just going to literally tell you what the film is. Okay, I see happiness, I see excitement. This tells me this is a film that you've seen yourself many, many times. I didn't get that feeling from the first film. I don't think you've really watched Pride and Prejudice many times, but this one you have. This is a film that you're very aware of. You've watched this many times. Think of the whole film. Okay, I want you to say the name of the film over and over and over in your head, not out loud. If you say it out loud, that's not mind reading, that's listening. Say it over and over and over in your head. Okay, this is quite an old film, one you watched as a kid. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah.
Boom. Now, I said that every single time we did this, we're going to try and take it to the next level. So we'll do it one more time, because I did say that on each one of these cards, there is a quote, right? So we'll try it one more time. This time what we'll do is you're going to cut the cards any way you want to, and you're going to take the card. But this time we're going to focus on the quote. You can look at the name of the film as well, but we're going to focus on the quote.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to look at the quote on the card. So I'll look away. You cut any way you want to, and complete the cut, and take the card. Now, do you want to switch it, or are you happy with that?
No, I like this card. It's good.
You like that card as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to look at the quote. Okay.
Yep.
And I don't know how many words are in the quote, but I want you to think of a long word in that quote. Can you do that for me? If there's a word that's longer than the others, look at that one. If there's not, pick any word in there. But if there's one that kind of stands out, maybe there's a few. Have you got that?
Yes.
Okay. So you've got a word, and remember the word. Remember the card. Remember the film. Okay, and then put everything down on the table. That's great. So we'll go for the word first of all. Okay, I heard you laughing. This is. You're giving too much away. I think this is a film that you've seen, a film that you like. It's a comedy. It's obviously something that makes you laugh. And I think it was I think when you looked at the film, you were remembering scenes of that film that made you, laugh. Think of the word, maybe the quote even kind of brought something back to you. So think of the word that you thought of out of the quote. Think of the whole thing. There's thousands of words over these quotes. I mean, it could be any word, but I'm seeing an E at the beginning, is that right?
Yes.
The word is expected.
Yes.
Doesn't really tell me much, but obviously it's a funny film that you like. I think you'd be the sort of person that would find Zoolander quite amusing. Let's have a look. Yes, Zoolander. There you go.
What is this? A place for ants? How can we be expected to teach kids to learn how to read if they can't even fit?
I remember that. That's funny.
Now, it wouldn't be an ACAN. It wouldn't be a Craig Petty project without an ACAN. And this has 2 any card at any numbers on them. But it's not an any. Both of them are presented very, very differently. They're not presented as an any card at any number. They're presented as a spectator thinking about a party that they're going to invite people to, and what film they're going to show when they get there, and how many people they're inviting to the party. It's a very, very different concept. You would look at it and not even think it's an ACAN. Now, there's 2 different versions of ACAN on the project, but I wanted to show you exactly how you can do this. Now, this is not even using the stack in a stacked position. This is just using half of the stack. It's using half of the cards, and it's using them in a shuffle position. And you'll see this. I'm able to give the cards to the spectator at the beginning and have them shuffle them, which is great because when you're performing Focus, you can start off with the cards in stack, and then you can have them shuffled, and you can go into some of the routines that involve the cards being shuffled. The cool thing about this is there's so many options. You can literally just go out and use this one deck and just have this in your pocket and be able to perform all night and do different stuff all night. But this is an example of how you can actually change the presentation to a classic trick like ACAN and come up with something completely different. Let's have a look at this. This is one of the ACANs from Focus.
Okay, so Lloyd, I've got some cards here, and these are basically the movie posters. It's from a card game that I bought a while ago, but you don't need to worry about the game. What's important is that there's like 26 different movies here.
Okay.
Because we're going to do something that involves your imagination. And first of all, give these cards a bit of a mix-up, give them a shuffle. And then when you've shuffled them, I want you to imagine that you've got a home theatre at home.
Okay.
And you've built it, and it's brand new, and it's a 26-seater. You can get 26 people inside, including yourself. And you're gonna throw a party. You're gonna invite some friends around, and you're gonna show a movie.
Right.
And it's going to be one of your favourite movies.
Okay.
So the first element of this, the first part of this, is to decide how many people you're going to invite round. But don't tell me now. Just decide in your head how many people you're going to invite round.
Okay.
Now you need to decide what movie you're going to show. So I'm going to have you go through these, find a movie that you think all of your friends would like, take it out, and then give me the rest back.
Cool.
Okay? It's very important I don't know what movie you're taking, but this is the movie that you're going to invite all your friends around. You're going to have popcorn, you're going to have pizza, you're going to have hot dogs, you're going to have beer. It's going to be an amazing night in your home cinema. So decide on the film that you want.
What should I do with it?
Just hold on to it and give me the rest back.
Okay.
And if you want to show everyone, you can. You don't have to. It's completely up to you. Okay?
Yeah.
And now just say stop.
Stop.
Cool. We're going to pop that right back there. And that's the card going right into that position. Now, here's the thing is, I know roughly that that's about 10, 12, 13 cards down, right?
Yeah.
Very important that I don't know where it is. So one more time, if you could give these another shuffle, that would be great. And have you got in your head how many people you're inviting to this party?
Yes.
Fantastic. And you've not said anything. You've shuffled these cards. I'm not going to change the order now. The order stays in the exact order in which you've given them to me, okay? How many people are you going to invite round?
15.
15. So I'm going to deal to the 15th position.
Yeah.
And I want you to tell me if you see your movie.
Okay.
The movie that you decided on. So number 1 here is Taken. You didn't think of Taken, did you?
No.
Good. So number 1 is Taken. Number 2 is Braveheart. Number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9, number 10. You haven't seen it yet, have you?
No.
Good. What was the number again? How many?
15.
15. So that's 10. That's 11, 12, 13, 14. That's the 15th card. Have you seen your movie yet?
No.
No. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This one right here, this is the 15th film. Now, think about this for a minute. You shuffled the cards yourself over and over again. You decided in your head how many people you're going to invite, and you only told me after you'd shuffled, I didn't change the order. If that card was shuffled into the exact same position as the amount of friends that you'd invited around, that would be good. But if I could tell you that the film that you were thinking of is Ghostbusters, that would be even better. And if that was Ghostbusters, that would be a miracle.
Now, I want to show you something else now, because the other thing that I love about this deck is it's about movies. And one thing that you'll find if you get focused and you start performing with it, one thing that you'll find is people love movies and they've all got a opinion about what's a good movie and a bad movie. Honestly, if you have this deck shuffled up and you just have them mixed up, and so there's quote cards and movie posters all mixed up, and you just say to them, look, do me a favor, grab a card, and they take one, and you go, do you like that movie or do you want to go for a different one? A lot of the time they'll go, nah, I don't like that one. Let me take a different one. And you'd never get that with a playing card. No, I don't like the three of diamonds. Can I put it back, please? And have a different one. But you get that with this deck all of the time. And one thing that I love, because everybody knows movies really, really well, it allows you to just do reveals of films that people have picked, either by forcing the films on them or by having reveals built in based on the films that they've picked in the first place. So, for example, this QR code, like I said earlier on, goes through to X-Men, which is brilliant. It just goes through to X-Men. But I'm going to show you a ringtone revelation now. Have you ever heard my phone ring in the office and it's Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
And have you ever heard a text message come through and it's Rocky?
Yeah.
You're about to find out why. Let's have a look at this.
Okay, so Lloyd, I'm going to show you something right now, and this is the simplest trick on the project.
Cool.
People will be able to do it straight away, and I'm worried that they're going to overlook this as being too simple. I'm telling you right now, when I use this deck, this is my opener. I love this routine. It kills people.
Okay.
So, I have a prediction. We're going to put the prediction right there. Okay? I also have a pack of these movie posters, as you can see, all different movies, bunch of different movies, and I'm going to give them a mix-up and make sure they're in a random order. We'll give them a bit of a shuffle. And what I want you to do is you're going to take the cards, and I'm going to start dealing them onto a table face down, but you can shuffle as you deal and put them from the top and the bottom and the middle and stop whenever you want to. You done?
Yeah.
So these aren't important. We'll put those to one side. Now pick all of these and deal a two-handed back and forth, like you were dealing a big two-handed game of poker. Perfect. So we've got these two right here. Was that random?
Yeah.
Perfect. No way I could have known what these movies are, right? So let's have a look. We'll pick this one first of all. We'll come back to that in a minute, okay? So what do we have here? Ghostbusters. Love Ghostbusters.
Yeah, too.
I predicted something from the very beginning. What's the prediction? It's actually
Photo of you.
my business card, available for weddings, anniversaries, bar mitzvahs and birthday parties. But here's the thing. My phone number is on there. Now, Jake, you've actually got me saved. Jake's behind the camera. You've got me saved in your phone, right? At this point, I would have somebody ring me. But as you're already in I'm already in your phone, can you give me a call, please?
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
A call or a text?
Give me a call.
Who are you going to call?
Who are you going to call, Jake? Just give me a call. Call me. What the hell? Now, but I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, we made two piles, right?
Yeah.
We made this pile over here, and this one says Rocky. Why don't you send me a text as well, Jake? Just drop me a text quickly.
Okay, now I forgot to mention to you, by the way, one more thing about the marking systems. Very quickly, do you see these two cards here, Michael?
Yeah.
Do you notice that one of them has got rounded corners and the other one's got square corners?
Yeah.
Yeah, the square corners are on for movie posters and the rounded corners are for quotes. So Phil built that into place as well, so that if you're wanting to do like routines where you need to know that you're taking out quote cards, for example, without looking at the deck, you can do that, and that's used a few times in the various different routines. But I want to show you something else. Jake Keane did a fantastic job on this project. And this was Jake's favorite routine in the whole project. It's all about subliminal advertising and being able to influence you in without even feeling like you're being influenced. A lot of mentalists these days use influence and psychology as a hook line. And if you do, this particular routine is one of the strongest routines that you can do from the project. If you're a mentalist, this is something that you will absolutely love. Let's have a look at this. It's called Eat More Popcorn.
Movie quotes cards. I know you've seen these before, so I don't have to explain what they are. But before we start, this is kind of a really interesting thing I want to talk to you about. And before I start, as you remember, I'm sure, we've got posters in this deck and we've also got quotes. And the quotes are from the films that are depicted on the posters, right? Before we do anything, can you do me a favor? Can you take all of the poster cards and just give them a mix-up, give them a shuffle? Mix them up, make sure they're all mixed up. Take your time, and when you're done, let me know.
Yeah. Happy with that.
You happy? In a random order, yeah?
Yeah.
And the quotes cards, these here, can you take those and give those a shuffle for me as well?
Yeah, of course.
Nice. You cool with those?
Very cool.
Very good. So these are the quotes. We'll put those right there. These are the posters, right? And we'll put these right there. Okay. In a second, I'm going to get you to cut the quotes packet. I'm going to get you to do something with both of them in a second. I want you to remember before we started, you shuffle these.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever heard of or played around with the concept of subliminal advertising?
Well, a little bit.
A little bit, right?
I'm from the world of copywriting.
It's very true. That's very true. So here's the interesting thing. I don't know if you've heard this story. Back in the 1950s, they did an experiment in a movie theater in America. And what they did is they showed a particular film. They had lots of different films showing that day. But on this one particular film, every time it was filmed, they flashed up subliminal advertising on the screen so fast that you couldn't see it. And they literally put, eat more popcorn, drink more cola. And it was like flashed up on the screen. And they looked at the takings at the end of the day, and the people in that theater spent like massively more money on popcorn and on cola. And that's basically what subliminal advertising is. The thing is, it's all lies. I mean, that you know, it doesn't really exist. You can't really do that. But if you could, this is what it would look like. As this whole experiment took place in a movie theater, let's use movies. So we've got the quotes cards that you shuffled. Can you cut those cards for me for a second? And we'll just mark that position. And we've got these cards as well. In a second, you're going to deal these cards and select 3 completely at random from the ones that you shuffled. Okay? Before you do, we're going to try an experiment in subliminal advertising. So we're going to take the 3 cards that you cut to from the packet that you shuffled, and we're going to put them there. And subliminal advertising, like I told you, is flashing a message so quickly that you think you can't take it in, but you actually have taken it in. That's why I'm using the quotes cards for these. It's very difficult to see what the movie is. Yeah. But you'll realize without even realizing. Now, I want to focus right here. I'm going to flash the faces of these 3 that you cut to, just for a split second. Okay, now, it probably doesn't feel like you took anything in there, but hopefully you did. You shuffle these, right? Yeah. Take them and deal them face down onto the table. So, yeah, just you're going to make a face down pile, but you can go from the middle. You can shuffle. You can take them from the bottom. You can mix them up as you're dealing them. Put 2 or 3 down at a time. Stop whenever you want to, obviously. You happy?
Very happy.
We'll put those away. And then take these and deal them into 3 piles as if you're dealing a 3-handed game of poker. Very good. Perfect. So, would you agree that you could not possibly know what the top card of each one of these is?
Definitely not.
You shuffled the packet. You then dealt a whole bunch of cards and shuffled and cut and dealt and shuffled, and then you made 3 piles.
Yeah.
We'll have a look. We've got X-Men. We've got Independence Day. Oh, Ghostbusters. Okay, those 3. And you shuffled that packet as well, and I flashed them to you. When I flashed them, did you see anything? Did you take anything in? Not really?
I'm not sure. I saw something.
But you couldn't tell me what they were. And you see, that's the whole thing about subliminal advertising. You think that you haven't taken it in, but in actual fact you have. That would be X-Men. That would be Independence Day. And that would be Ghostbusters. Jake, eat more.
Now, one of the cool things about this deck is that you have, in essence, 26 of each card, and that's used in so many different ways in this deck. You've got 26 of each card. So I have 26 of each card. So I have 2 of The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, 2 of Braveheart, and so on and so forth. And that allows you to do so many different types of routines. You can do ESP matchups because these cards are marked really visibly. And this is the best marking system that Phil's come up with for these type of decks. You can see it from a mile off, but you won't see it until you know what you're looking for. You can actually take 5 films from here and the same 5 films from here. You can do an ESP matchup style routine. You can do Will the Jacks match, but films instead of Jacks. You can do tons of different ESP matchup routines. And I'll show you a couple of them that I include on the project. The first one, I call it the ultimate matchup. And it's one of my favorite routines to do because what actually happens is the deck is shuffled over and over again. And yet you make you're able to make it feel like the spectator is sorting out all of the mates of the cards that they're picking. It's a blockbuster routine, and it's one of my blockbuster. I didn't even thank you. Here all week. It's a blockbuster routine. It's one of my favorite routines to perform in this deck. It does require a full deck setup, but the cool thing is, after you've done this routine, you can then go into using it as a stack, or you can go into using it as a shuffled deck. But this is one that I love performing. Let's have a look at the ultimate matchup.
You can do one called Ultimate Matchup, and this is kind of really interesting, Jake, because I'm going to teach you how to do some really cool stuff that only magicians can normally do. I'm going to teach you how to do it. It's actually really simple. And it uses this deck of cards. Now, this is called a movie quotes deck. It's basically a card game, but in essence what this is, these are a bunch of posters from different movies, from different eras, different genres, but you'll also notice there's these cards in here as well. These are like quotes from films. So what you have is you have 26 quote cards and you have 26 movie cards or movie poster cards, but they're the same. So for example, if we look at here, this is a quote from The Lion King. Somewhere in here there's going to be a poster for Lion King as well. So in essence there's 26 posters repeated twice. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. So we'll give these a bit of a mix up, and just to make sure they are really mixed up, can you do me a favor and just cut and complete the cut any way you want to?
Yeah, of course.
Are you happy there? Do you want to cut again? You good?
No, I'm happy with that.
Brilliant stuff. So we're going to divide the deck into roughly 2 piles. So I'm going to dribble these cards down on the table. Up to you when, but somewhere say stop.
Stop.
There?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got 2 piles. Which pile do you want to put away and which pile would you like to work with?
Can we put this one away?
Yeah. Should we give it a quick mix up before we put it away?
Yeah, sure.
Give it a little bit of a mix up like this. And again, you cut that one and complete the cut, just to make sure it's all mixed up. So just take it, cut it, and complete the cut. You did that so well. Let's do it again. Let's give it one more cut. Because every time you do that, one more cut, I'm feeling feisty. Okay, because every single time you do that, it's gonna change the position, right? We'll put these away like you wanted, mixed up and put away. That leaves us with these here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you what we're going to do here. The first thing I'm going to teach you is how to locate a card.
Okay.
So let's just take what we've got on top. That is a quote from Young Frankenstein, okay? So somewhere there's going to be the poster for Young Frankenstein, right? If I just do this and I just concentrate right there, I think. If I put that right there, I put it next to this card. Young Frankenstein. Could have been a fluke. Could have been a fluke. It wasn't, but it could have been. I'll show you again. Let me just give them a bit of a cut. This time we'll take the, what's that one? Forrest Gump. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, right? And if I just concentrate, yeah, there. I put it in just the right spots. I can put it right next to Forrest Gump. Now you can do this yourself. I'm going to teach you how. So first of all, cut the cards and complete the cut. You happy?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to take the card. What's that one? Jerry Maguire.
Yeah.
Hold it face up and put it somewhere into the middle. Face up, obviously. It's up to you where. You sure you want to put it right there? You can change your mind if you want to. You happy?
I'm happy.
You're happy right there. So you put it right there.
Yeah.
And that was a free choice. And you cut the card, you cut to Jerry Maguire and you put it right here, right next to Jerry Maguire.
I'm pretty good.
You're pretty good. You're amazing, Jake. What can I say? Now, that's the first thing. So now you've learned how to do that. The next thing you have to be able to do is change a card. It's a little bit more difficult, but let's see. Shall we use Dr.
Strangelove?
Dr. Strangelove?
Yeah.
Now, this is a quote for Casablanca. Here's looking at you, kid. I'm pretty sure nobody in Dr. Strangelove ever said, here's looking at you, kid. But if I just concentrate and we just take that and we just rub, turns into the quote from Dr. Strangelove, which is pretty cool. Now, you can do this yourself. I know you don't believe me, but you can. Let me show you. We'll just give the cut. Do you want a cut or shall I cut?
You can go.
Give a cut like that, yeah? Give him one more cut. And maybe one more cut. One. We're happy?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, so what do we have? I Am Not Complete from Edward Scissorhands, a brilliant film. And next we have Ghostbusters. Actually, it's probably something that Ghostbusters would have said, but they definitely said I'm not complete. They didn't say that. So you take Ghostbusters and just do me a favor and wave it over. And then turn it over. And we have Edward Scissorhands.
Beautiful.
I mean, you're amazing, Jake. Now, here's the thing, right? These cards have been mixed multiple times, and they don't match. We have Ghostbusters and we have Heathers.
Right.
You know, we have Independence Day, and what's that there? Zoolander. The point is, all of these, Sherlock Holmes and Braveheart, all of these are completely different, right? There's no match. But here's the thing, if I just concentrate, that's all I have to do. Because now we have Ghostbusters and we have Ghostbusters. Casablanca and Casablanca. Braveheart. Sherlock Holmes, Zoolander. We have Independence Day and we have Heathers. Every single one matches. But do you remember at the very beginning, you chose which ones to put in the box?
Yeah.
And you mixed them up yourself. Hold the box in between your hands like this. And just like I did, concentrate.
Okay.
So lift up your hand. Let's see how we did. Because now you're going to find we have Taken and Taken. We have Spider-Man. We have Rocky. Every single one of these cards all the way through, despite you mixing them, every single one of them has now found its perfect mate. Every single one.
Maybe I can be a card magician
I
after
think
all.
you can, mate. I definitely.
Now, another matchup routine that you can do is, and this is based on the Wayne Dobson thing called Continuous Do As I Do. You can do the Wayne Dobson Continuous Do As I Do style routine, but with movie quotes instead of with the deck of cards. And once again, this is a perfect example of how you can take classic card routines and put them into this deck, and you can create something that's way more relatable than just using playing cards. Also, with the ultimate matchup routine that I just showed you, and with this, the Continuous Do As I Do, it's a perfect example of how you can actually use this deck as a magician as well as a mentalist. Now, previously, when I've bought decks of cards like this out, like for example, Evoke and the Infinity deck, it has been lent towards mentalists. So it's really more for mentalists because the deck of cards allows you to do mentalism very, very easily because of the marking system that's built into the cards. But you don't have to if you don't want to. With this deck, half of the routines, and by the way, there's 40 routines on the project, half of the routines are all based around being a magician. Continuous Do As I Do, Ultimate Matchup, they're perfect examples of routines that you can do as a magician. That's not really mentalism, and we'll get into a couple more of those in a minute. But let's have a look at Continuous Do As I Do.
Jake, this is called Continuous Do As I Do. Have you heard of that before?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you the rich history behind this trick in a minute. This is called Continuous Do As I Do. And this is one of my favourite tricks of all time. We're going to have you have half the pack, and I'm going to have half the pack. So just say stop.
Stop.
There, are you sure?
Yeah.
You're happy? You're happy at that point?
Yeah.
And the next question I have for you, which is very important, which packet would you like?
I like this one.
Okay, take it. We're going to do an experiment in coincidence. Okay, so you can cut the deck as many times as you want to, and I will cut the deck as many times as I want to. Cut the deck, cut the deck, cut the deck. And when you're happy, without looking at it, you take this card, and then pass me your top card that you cut to, and we'll put it on top of the deck. Put it on top of the deck like that.
Okay.
Okay. So you gave me this card at random. I gave you that card at random. I have the Naked Gun 33 1/3. What do you have?
Naked Gun.
Really? Oh my God, what a surprise. How did that happen? I tell you what, let's do it again. We'll do it again. Look, we'll take the Naked Gun cards, we'll put them away. Let's do that again. Cut the cards as many times as you want to. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. You happy?
Yeah.
Okay, and we'll swap cards again. So I'll take yours and you can take mine. And let's have a look, turn them over. I've got Onward. What have you got?
Onward.
Oh my God, let's do it one more time, shall we? Let's do it one last time. Pass me your Onward card.
Yeah.
We'll get rid of those. We don't need them anymore. Right, cut the cards as many times as you want to. Boom, 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 boom. Give them a cut. And when you're happy, I'll give you my top card. You give me your top card. It couldn't be 3 times in a row. Let me look at mine first. I've got Pride and Prejudice. What do you have?
Pride and Prejudice.
Now, anybody who's been watching Magic TV and knows me well enough will know that I love Wildcard. And what you're about to see right now is called Wild Screen, and it's a way of doing Wildcard with this movie deck, and it uses a double blank deck of cards. It's based on a very old illusionist routine from many, many years ago, but it uses a double blank deck of cards, and it uses a double blank playing card, and it uses this deck, and it's the perfect presentation for this sort of thing. And the reason it's the perfect presentation is because you're bringing the double blank card out and you're saying this is a movie screen. You're having people think of movies, and the movie poster is appearing on the blank card. It's very, very strong, and it's a perfect example of how you can use this deck, and you can use the fact that playing cards are not as relatable as movies to do something which is traditionally only done with playing cards, but make it even more amazing. Now, later on next week, we're going to be sharing some live performances, aren't we, Michael, of me doing Focus in the Real World. When you watch those live performances, you'll see people screaming for this routine, literally screaming their heads off. It is so strong. Let's have a look at this.
So, Jake, I'm going to talk to you about movies. And I've got these movie posters here. I've got a whole bunch of them. These are all different movies from cinematic history. Some are very up to date. Some of them are a lot older. This is kind of an eclectic range. There's a very good chance you've seen most of the films here. Do you want to give these a shuffle before I start? Mix them up?
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to do something to do with movies. Now, I want you to take 3 of them out. You can either do it at random, just any 3, or you can go through and take 3 that you like the look of.
Well, I like the idea of doing it at random.
Okay, let's do it at random then. Grab any 3 out that you like. Okay, cool. And you can have a look at them and remember them if you want to.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
And pop the first one back there. You can put them back in any order you want. It makes no difference. So the first one goes here. We'll leave that in there. The second one, we will pop that in there and mix that one up as well. And then the third one, we'll pop that one right there and we'll do this. I'm going to show you the difference between magic and sleight of hand, if that's okay.
That's more than okay.
Cool. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to show you sleight of hand. Sleight of hand is basically the hand is quicker than the eye. You see, I have no idea which movers you've picked, but I want you to imagine that this card here, you can have a look at it. I want you to imagine, check it out, pick it up, examine it, walk around it. It's just a card that's blank on both sides.
Yeah.
I want you to imagine that that's a mini television.
Okay.
Okay? And I want you to think about those cards, think about those films that you picked. Because if you concentrate hard enough, I can take that little mini television and I can have it change into the X-Men. How did I do? Was that one of them?
It was.
It was, good. Now, if we take the X-Men and we just do this and concentrate, we can have that TV change into the Karate Kid 2. Was that another one? Now, I got to tell you, the back hasn't changed. It's just the front. The back has stayed the same. But if you concentrate on the other one, and now it changes into headers. How are we doing? Was that the other one?
3 for 3.
Nice. Now, the thing is, if you stop concentrating, just for a split second, that card turns back to blank. And that was sleight of hand. That was me being faster than my fingers. Real magic is the fact that the cards that you picked aren't even here. And the reason is over here in my pocket inside my shirt, and I haven't even got a pocket, which is weird, there's 3 films.
Okay, so I mentioned earlier on, talking about routines that you can do as a magician. I'm a magician. I play at mentalism. I do mental magic, but I'm a magician through and through. And I included these 2 cards specifically because I had so many ideas for them. This is a double backed card with Slimer on it, and this is a duplicate of the Ghostbusters card. But if you look, well, that's Independence Day. Duplicate of the Ghostbusters card. But do you notice, Michael?
Slimer's missing.
Slimer's missing. I did that on purpose. I wanted to be able to have Slimer vanish off the Ghostbusters card and appear on another person's card. And we go through so many different ways of doing this. There's like about a 1-hour section on the tutorial just on how to use these 3 cards. We even have a jam on screen about different ways that you can use it. And I remember Lloyd saying this could have been a release in its own right. You know, just being able to make Slimer vanish and then appear somewhere else. It's so good, it really is. And I want to share one of the routines that you can do with these 2 gaffed cards using your focus deck. Now, this is just one of the routines. There are multiple routines, and I'm telling you right now, if you are a magician, this is always my opener. You catch me anywhere when I'm out gigging or at a convention, you will see this trick as my opening routine because it is so strong. Everybody uses Ghostbusters. I went back and forth as to which card to use. Everybody knows Ghostbusters, and with the new films that have come out recently, it's even more iconic than ever before. And everybody knows that little guy. Everybody knows Slimer. So the fact that you can have Slimer pop off the movie poster and find another film that they're merely thinking about, it's insane. I could have literally done a half-an-hour video or an hour video just on how to use these 2 gaffed cards. But I'll restrain myself because Michael's looking very angry. Instead, I'm just going to show you one routine.
Let's do this. I love this trick. So we have this movie quotes deck, which you are very, very, very aware of right now. And it has posters in it. It has quote cards in it. 52 cards in this deck altogether.
Yeah.
Right? And my question to you, Jake, would you like to see something absolutely amazing?
Yes, please.
Then I will show you something amazing. Starts with you picking a card. Grab a card, any card that you want.
That'll do.
You got it? Cool. Have a look at it, don't forget it, and then put it right back there. And this is the card for people at home. That's your card. Jake, I want you to see that that card goes into the pack. You can push it in yourself.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Very fair.
Good. Now, I have to cut to a card that's not your card. As long as I can cut to a card that's not your card, I'm golden.
Okay.
Let's have a feel. Yeah, I think this is not your card. You didn't pick Ghostbusters, did you?
I didn't.
Do you like Ghostbusters, Jake?
I love Ghostbusters.
Who's your favourite character in Ghostbusters?
Venkman.
Venkman's cool. Venkman's cool. My favourite is Slimer. I love Slimer. I'm so glad they built him back in Frozen Empire. But do you see Slimer? Did you realise that when Slimer was alive, he was a magician?
No.
Did you not know this?
I did.
Yeah, it's true. In fact, do you see him? Give him a little rub. You see him right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Watch this. Because you see, if I just take Slimer, I'm going to warm it up first. All I have to do is take Slimer and I can rub and I can pull him off the card. You can hold on to that. It's invisible. Don't drop him. You'll never find him. Now, he's not there anymore because you're holding on to him, but we're going to use him to find your card. All I want you to do is throw him at the deck. Boom, brilliant, well done. And if we go through, you can see, oh, there we go. He's right there. He's splattered himself onto one card and one card only. And let's have a look. Was your card a quote or a poster? Well, let's have a look. Was it a quote for Zoolander?
It was.
Amazing. Now, there is a problem with this, Jake. Do you know what the problem is?
No.
I'm stuck with Slimer on the back of the card right now.
Oh.
So I'll tell you what, hold your hand out for me. I'm going to put the card right there. And we'll see if we can fix this. Watch, if I do this, turn it over. Slimer's gone. And the reason he's gone is because back on the Ghostbusters card, Slimer is back.
I want to share one more routine with you, one final routine, and this is something not by me, it's by Lloyd Barnes. He contributed this to the project. He realised that Hangover, the film Hangover, has 8 letters, and each letter is a completely different starting letter. So you can actually use the focus deck to do a revelation of a film that's not even in the focus deck. Now you're going to see me actually combining focus with Digital Force Bag, by Craig Squires, Mark Kirstein and Nick Einhorn, and creating something which is super fun to perform. I was out doing a close-up gig. I was doing a close-up gig yesterday, and I had focus with me, and I was starting with the Ghostbusters thing, but then I had the setup on top for Hangover, and I was going into Hangover next. You know what I love about this? And I hope people don't think I'm hyping up my own product. I'm trying to show you exactly what you're getting here. But I'm so excited about it. I'm so passionate about this. I genuinely believe this is the best thing I've brought out in 2024. I genuinely believe it. And I'm so excited about it. And what I love most about this bloody deck is I can go to a gig and just take this deck of cards with me, and I can do so much. I can literally do a different set at every table. I can do 20 tables and show each person something completely different all night and still have routines that I haven't bothered doing. Like, the fact that I can take an entire deck out and I can do magic on one table, mind reading on another table, comedy on another table, visual magic on the next table, cards across on the next table, and I can put it all together into a theme, a common theme that everybody knows and everybody can relate to. This is worth its weight in gold. I love this. This is never going out my repertoire. I'm very excited. Let's have a look at the hand.
And I showed you this earlier on. It's a deck of movie posters. It's like a little card game that you can play. What's interesting about these is each one of these has a different movie on them, and they're different films from different eras, different genres. And we're going to try and do an experiment here in coincidence, okay? Mm-hmm. It starts with me giving these a bit of a mix-up. We'll give them a cut just to make sure they're in no particular order. We'll get back to those a little bit later on. Now, I'm going to tell you as well that on my notes page of my phone, I have a list of 100 random films. Now, these films are, I got the list off the internet. They're really popular films from cinematic history. The one thing I made sure of is that all of the films that are here are also in that list. Yep. Obviously, there's a lot more films there because there's only about 25 or 30 films here, whilst on that list there's 100 different films. And it's going to start off with you thinking of one of those films. Now, I'm not just going to have you arbitrarily name a film because you might go for a really popular one, or I know you, I might know the sort of film that you go for. So we're going to make it completely random. Give me a number from 1 to 100.
97.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Okay. Now, you'll see that on my phone here, there's my notes page.
Yep.
When you open up the notes page, there's a lot of lists because I'm a habitual note taker. There's a lot of notes and stuff. But there's one note that says popular films. You're going to open up that one, and you're going to see that all the films are different. Okay? You're going to go to your number, which was 97, I think, and you're going to have a look at the film at that number. Remember that film, but don't say it out loud. Okay?
Yep.
Tell me when you've done that. So if you open up the notes page, you're going to see a note called popular films. Do you see that?
I do.
And do you see the film at 97?
Oh, I do.
Good. Can you remember that? Now, also, have a look through the rest of the list and make sure that film doesn't appear anywhere else and that all of the films are different. That's important.
Yep.
Yeah, because if it's the same film, that's not an experiment in coincidence, that's cheating. Now, swipe up out of my notes page and then just close the phone down, just press the off button, Perfect, and you can put that out the way. So I have no idea what film you're thinking of. It was a completely free choice. I don't know the film. There is a chance that the film that you're thinking of is here in these cards, because there are a whole bunch of cards here. There's a whole bunch, but there's more films in that list than there are movie posters here. So there's more of a chance that it's not here, but it might be. And I said we were going to do an experiment in coincidence. Do you remember?
I do.
And we are. Let me explain what's going to happen. The first thing is you're going to decide where we can take some cards out of here. You're going to decide where from. So just say stop.
Stop.
Right there, you sure?
Yep.
Perfect. And now we're going to take some cards out. As I go through like this, just say stop.
Stop.
Right there, are you sure?
Yep.
Perfect. We'll put the rest down here out the way. We'll just use these cards, the ones that you picked from the position that you picked from a mixed up pack. Now, there is a chance that one of these movie posters matches the film that you're thinking of, which would be quite coincidental. But we're going to see if we can take this to the next level. And it starts with us mixing these cards into a very random order. So, I'm going to have you say deal or split. Now, if you say deal, I'll deal the card on the table. If you say split, I'll change the positions of the cards like this. This would be deal, this would be split. You get the idea?
Yep.
So, let's do that. So, deal or split?
Deal.
And again?
Deal.
And again?
Deal. Split.
Okay.
Split.
And the last one has to be deal. So, you can see right there where those cards have changed places. Do you want to do it again?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Now we're going to also so they're now in an order we didn't even know they were going to be in. I mean, they were mixed up before anyway, but we're going to go even further. How many cards are there here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're going to give me a number from 1 to 8. Whatever number you give me, I'll deal that many cards on the table. Let's say you said 3, I'll deal 3 cards on the table. I'll turn the rest over and put them on top.
Okay.
So, give me a number.
2.
2. So 1, 2, turn the rest over, put them on top. Give me a number.
6.
6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn the rest over. Put them on top. Give me a number.
2.
2. 1, 2. Turn the rest over. We'll keep doing this until you're happy. Do you want to do it one more time?
Yep.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn the rest over. Put them on top. Do you want to do it again?
No, I'm happy.
You sure?
Yep.
No way I can know what these films are or what order they're in. I don't know whether your film that you're thinking of is here or not. But for now, don't tell me.
Okay.
I'm just going to show you the films. So first of all, we've got Heathers. Have you seen Heathers?
Don't think so.
Okay. Got The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes from the 1940s. Have you seen that?
Haven't seen that one.
Okay. Naked Gun 33 and a third.
I have seen that one.
Great film.
Hilarious.
Ghostbusters.
Yep.
And now seeing the type of films that you like. We're going for comedies here, I can see. My prediction is that you haven't seen Onward.
I have not.
It's a Pixar film. Why would you have? V for Vendetta.
I like Toy Story. Yeah, I've seen V Fender.
It's a great film. Edward Scissorhands.
I've seen that.
Okay. And finally, Rocky 4.
Yes, I've seen that.
Rocky 4 is a great film. So we've got Heathers, we've got The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, Naked Gun 33 and the third, Ghostbusters, Onward, V for Vendetta, Edward Scissorhands, and Rocky 4. Do you see your film here?
I do not.
You don't see it at all?
Nope.
Okay, that's a small problem because you were supposed to. You don't see your film here at all.
Definitely not.
What about if I spread these out like this and I put them into 2 piles like this? So if I kind of do this and I do this, do you see your film now? No?
What do you mean, like what would I?
Do you see your film here? No?
No, it's not.
It's not there. Okay. I said this was an experiment in coincidence. I'm lying. It was really more of an influence thing. Did you feel influenced at any point?
No,
You had a free choice of film.
I did.
I don't know that film. You then took a mixed up pack of cards. You decided where to take these movie posters from. You decided how many to take, and you put them into this order. Here's what's really interesting, and this is what will freak you out. Heathers begins with a H. Adventures of Sherlock Holmes is an A. That's H-A. Naked Gun 33 and a third is an N. H-A-N. Ghostbusters is a G. That's H-A-N-G. Hang. Onward is O. V for Vendetta is V. Edward Scissorhands is E. And Rocky 4 is R. H-A-N-G-O-V-E-R. That spells hangover. What was the film you were thinking of?
Hangover? What
Okay,
the actual?
so I've shown you the marks. I've shown you the very sexy deck. I've explained how the two two stacks work, how they can work together, how they can work separately. I've explained how the organic Moab system works. I've explained how the marks for things that aren't actually on the cards, I've explained how that works. I've explained the different ways that you can set this deck up, and I've shown you 9 different routines that you can do with this deck. I think I've covered everything, other than to tell you, if you've never bought one of my products before and you want my advice right now of buying one product that kind of gives you a flavor as to what I'm all about, pick up Focus. I absolutely love it. Not only do I think it's the best trick that I've bought out this year, I think it's jumped to the top of my list in terms of the best tricks that I've ever bought out. I love this. I will do it all the time. And I hope this becomes the thing that I'm known for over and above everything else, because it's so clever, and I can't wait for people to get it in their hands, because I think when people start working with this, they'll realize just how much potential it's got. Yes, it's a 10-hour product. There's a 10-hour tutorial. Shut up, Michael. There's a 10-hour tutorial, but there's a quick start guide at the beginning. It's half an hour long. It tells you how everything works, and then it's just routines. If you don't want to watch any of the routines, don't bother. You don't need to. Just watch the half an hour. In fact, to be honest, now you've watched this video, stuff that, just get the deck, take it out and start messing with it. But if you want to see everything that I've spent the last 2 years working on, then you watch the whole tutorial. And if you pick it up before Christmas, you're absolutely going to have the time to do that. But yeah, any questions, let me know down below. I'll try and answer them for you. I am a little bit busy over Christmas, but I will try and answer them for you. But yeah, hopefully I've covered everyone's questions. I've tried to be as transparent as I can. I think I've covered everything, but if there's something else that you want to know, please let me know down below. And we're going to share a big video of live performance footage next week, aren't we, Michael?
Yeah.
With tons of live performances of me doing this in the real world. Until then, thank you so much. If you've picked up Focus, let me know down below. If you are picking up Focus, let me know down below. If I can help with anything, let me know down below. And once again, thank you so much. You can pick this up from your favorite magic dealer. If you haven't got a favorite magic dealer, you can pick it up from the Magic TV shop. For those of you that have, I really appreciate that. Thank you. But either way, I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. My name's Craig. This is Focus. Big thank you to Phil Smith, because this wouldn't even be a thing without Phil. Big thank you to Murphy's Magic. This wouldn't be a thing without Murphy's Magic. I'm so proud of this. I'll see you again soon. My name's Craig, and this is Magic TV.